We back in this early afternoon. Oh my goodness. Must be a major update coming at you.
Hey, we live now, really.
All right. Yeah, we live now. Are we really? All right. It's not too much talking because we got to get into this press conference. Nolan Wells family is having a press conference, and I just wanted to bring y'all the exclusive update of what's going on at the press conference. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to be quiet. We're going to go ahead and play this press conference, and we're going to go ahead and, get to the root of what's going on. You understand me? Uh-oh. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. How y'all doing, though? How my beautiful people doing out there? Life good? You doing well? There, y'all. Yeah, so essentially, Nolan Wells family and multiple families will have an update today. Ben Crump is doing a press conference, and I'm bringing y'all this press conference live because at the end of the day, I believe that crucial information will be released during this press conference. And at the end of the day, why not? You're getting the exclusive here. So, yes, we must talk about it. We must talk. Oh, hold on. My bad, y'all. I know the audio is kind of messed up. I'm going to try to find a better video for y'all. But here it is. Ben Crump will update on the family and what's going on. I had to get y'all this exclusive. I believe this is important.
Of the National Urban League, Mark Moriel. Please give a great round of applause for him not leaving their hungry to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice for Breonna Taylor, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we're going to get justice for Nolan Wells. We're going to get justice for Daniel Irvin. And we're going to get justice for Tyler Smith. And the large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family of other great lawyers for Nolan Wells. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Irvin, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean Virea and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice. And we want to applaud his mother.
I'm about to try to find some audio for you. This audio is horrible. Holy.
Fighting as only a mother would fight, where not many people in the world listen. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine, and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here. You are not alone. She is not alone. Justice for Daniel Irvin.
I guess the audio is that bad.
Attorney Eric Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith. Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. And until the lawyers get there, until the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Mariel. and thank God for this mother and this praying grandma who refused to let him sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug.
Talk to him.
And so I will say briefly about each of these tragedies. Obviously, many of you know about Nolan Wells. And you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Burks and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wells goes with the friends, celebrating the 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wells tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. And we are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CETO call in its entirety. We also, in Attorney Burks, they go into greater detail on these matters.
With Base 44, a simple sentence
you too.
becomes.
Come on, baby. My bad, y'all.
In the same location where they say they left them at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? We want the explanation. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up, so we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wells.
Amen. Can I get an amen?
Into a little more detail at Attorney Park about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wells, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing with his body when he was flown to do the autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways and the lungs had already been dissected and so forth, so we can't tell if there was the presence of water or not. That would suggest whether he drowned or not. And remember what Dr. Roger Mitchell said in his autopsy. President Mario, he talked about the fact that to say he drowned does not draw the conclusions of what happened to Nolan Wells. He said it is equally important to know at what condition was Nolan Wells' body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or did he go unforced into the water? He said all of these things are very important. And so we are dotting I's and crossing T's. We are focused on getting to the truth, and we stand for the truth. Me and everybody on my legal team stand for the truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or who it acquits. And we stand for transparency, so everybody can see. And that's all we want. We want answers. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. We are saying that we want to make sure everybody who is remotely involved has their questions answered, to make sure we have a full and fair and impartial and transparent investigation. And is that too much to ask for these broken-hearted parents? Is that too much to ask?
It's not.
If it was your child, Wouldn't you want the same thing? And I get it. They're attacking me. They're attacking Reverend Al. They're attacking the parents of Nolan Wells. We don't care about those distractions. We ain't no ways tired. We are completely focused, completely laser focused on getting to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. And so the threats, the attacks mean nothing to us. We will not be deterred. Look into our eyes. We're going to get to the truth. I am so grateful to Mr. Byron Allen for donating $100,000 to the GoFundMe so we can help get the best experts in the world. I am thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton. I am thankful to Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm thankful to Mr. Tara Owens. I am very thankful to everybody who did not think it robbery to say, what can we do to help people get to the truth and call in to the tip line so we can help not only Nolan Wells' family, but we can help Daniel Irvin's family, and we can help Tyler Smith's family as well. Everybody on social media, please continue to ask questions. Please continue to share photographs, share videos. It all helps us solve this potential of what happened to Nolan Wells. Isn't it so important? Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. As Christine and Elmore have said, if you're really Nolan's friend, you know in your heart of hearts that if the roles were reversed, that Nolan would say something. He would call and tell what he saw. And so that's all they're asking. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Congresswoman Bailey, we thank you in the Congressional Black Caucus. Please stand and join us, Congresswoman. You all asking the questions from the Department of Justice and the FBI. It's important that we have the full weight and force of everybody who has any kind of authority to be able to help us get answers on Nolan Wells and the other 18-year-old black boy.
So once again, this is a press conference being held. Benjamin Trump is speaking right now, giving us updates about what's going on within the case and what's going on with the family.
And about his case, and you will hear from Attorney Sean DeRaya, and after you hear from his mother, Tamika. So similar, and what they're saying about Nolan Wells. And that is her 18-year-old son, President Maria, Congresswoman Bailey. Two young white teenagers come, pick them up from their house, leave, they go on, I guess it's an alleged fishing trip. Her son, I guess they are saying, accidentally drowns. But his two friends then throw away his clothes, right, Sean? Throw away his cell phone, go and delete all the text messages between Daniel Irvin and them, and then say nothing. If it's an accidental drowning, why wouldn't you come to his mother and tell her he drowned by accident? Why wouldn't you go to the authorities? Why wouldn't you go to somebody and say there was a terrible tragedy, he accidentally drowned? But no, they gonna throw away all of the evidence that is germane to finding out what happened. And it's only after his mother raised all kind of hell, and for 4 days they are searching for what happened. Minister Dominique Alexander and the activists in Dallas, they said, no, something happened to Daniel Irvin. We got to get to the bottom them of this. Then and only then, Mark Mariel, does the young people come forward to the authorities with their parents and they say, well, we were there, and they confessed that they threw away his cell phone and his clothes, and they deleted the messages. And so law enforcement charged and arrested him after 3 months. 3 months passed, not until Nolan Wells started making the news did they finally come, and they arrest them, but not for the death of Daniel Irvin. They arrest them with tampering with evidence, and that's it. And what his mother is saying, what Attorney Derea is saying, what Attorney Cruz is saying is simply this. If they would lie about his cell phone and throw it away, if they would lie about his clothes and throw it away, if they would lie about deleting text messages between Daniel and them, how can you believe it when they say it was an accidental drowning? They need to take this case to a grand jury. And you're going to hear from his mother talk about other things.
Justice hopefully for Daniel Irvin as well. Hold on, yeah, I can't hear myself. I can't hear my audio. So my bad.
Drowning. It's so critically important that we remember Daniel Irvin as well. And then Attorney Park, Attorney Cruz, we talk about Tyler Smith, and I'll just try to paint the picture real quickly for you, and then you'll hear from these parents, these broken-hearted parents. 4th of July. You can't make this stuff up, Congresswoman Bailey.
You can't make it up.
Today is 4th of July. Same 4th of July 2026 when Nolan goes missing. Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky is the only black person in the home where they're having a 4th of July
right now,
small house party.
I want to interrupt you. I'm let me finish.
Somehow,
if you're just tuning in, this is a press conference updating everybody about a lot of cases that been this team is representing, including Nolan Wells. So we will get more on Nolan Wells afterwards. I just don't want to talk about it.
They come, the police get
What's up,
them.
y'all? Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button.
They tell them that he shot himself, that they were playing Russian roulette. That's what they say. They say, this the gun. The police retrieve the gun, and then they take their word as the gospel that he shot himself. They don't do gunshot residue on the hands of Tyler or nobody else. I mean, basic investigation 101. If you say he shot himself, when you bag his hands and when you test it for gunshot residue, but they don't do that. And you're going to hear from his grandmother and his mother as to the explanation, the implausible explanation that they offered them. And the fact that the gun, President Mariel, that they claimed he used it.
Oh, come on, YouTube. I might have to really pay for YouTube Premium. My bad.
They are taking their word for it. And it's 7 days later, right, Miss Leesley? 7 days later, after they did say 2 hours in the house, they have to identify everybody who was in the home. And then they have to track down, well, if this is not the gun that caused the death of Tyler Smith, well, where's the gun at? So they have to go investigate. Right. They go surround one of the young men's houses, and they surround the house. He doesn't come and volunteer after knowing that they're trying to find out and get evidence about what happened to Tyler Smith and come forward voluntarily. They have to go to his house and surround it, and then he comes out and finally he volunteers that this is the gun. Think about that, Captain Tree. Just think about that for a second. You would think, after all of that, he is surely going to be arrested and charged with killing or been in a way responsible for the death of this 18-year-old young black man. But no, he is only charged with tampering with evidence, correct, Ms. Neeson? Nothing more. And nobody, in all three of the questionable deaths of these 18-year-old young black kids, nobody has been held accountable in any way. And so that's why we're here saying that we are not deterred. We're not going to let you sweep it under the rug. We're going to get to the answer of what happened to Nolan Wells, what happened to Daniel Irvin, and what happened to Tyler Smith. 3 18-year-old black boys in a 3-month period around 4th of July, 2026, who all were unalive in very similar ways as Nolan Wells. And I'm very thankful to his parents for using the attention that they were given and blessed with to also give attention to these other 18-year-old black boys. Thank you.
Can we clap it up? Can we clap it up for the Nolan Wells family?
At this time, before we and then Attorney Lisa Park will some updates and then from Nolan Wells.
So once they hit the updates on Nolan Wells' case, I do want to learn more about the Daniel Irvin case, and I do want to learn more also about the Tyler, what was his name? Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
We have
Tyler
been
Smith
working
case.
with the district attorney. We've gotten a letter back yesterday, and she's willing to listen to some of the evidence we have, although we're having to still discuss her giving us back.
I'm good. Hit that follow button in the chat.
That we'll see.
How you doing?
Not just our
That follow button, hit the like button.
But the other phones that are involved in this situation, we are trying to coordinate and have come to a tentative agreement with the district attorney to go ahead and have them investigated together jointly with our experts as well as their experts. And I believe, if I'm not speaking out of turn, the FBI is going to also be present there. And that's going to show a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I'm going to keep this short, but as I always say, I'm going to say one more time, society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable, and justice will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Eric Hertz. And now you will hear briefly from Attorney Lisa Park, who heads up our Atlanta, Georgia office and has been leading on this in Nolan Wells.
Talk to us. What updates you got for us, Miss?
Recognize all of these families for coming here today, traveling here to Nashville, even family that's here in the audience. If you think for just a moment, for these tragedies, they really just happened. They really just happened. If you've never had a loved one that you've lost, it's hard. And you feel like going into a quiet place by yourself, mourning, grieving, doing all of our own religious rituals, right? And so it's quite hard that these families have had to come into the spotlight to stand up for their children. This is not where they want to be. And for those people who somehow think that they want to be in the spotlight, I guarantee you, this is not where they want to be. For all of these families, for every single family member that is suffering through these losses. So I want to commend all of these families. I also want to commend them for coming together as a group, right? Because all of us, we are stronger together. We are stronger together. And there are so many unanswered questions for all three of these cases. But there's hope. And I see that hope because we do get calls. We have been getting over 100 calls a day. And I want to thank everyone who's called in. Because for every time there's a hater that's saying that these people just want the spotlight. When somebody calls in with some encouragement, when somebody calls in with some information, it makes up for that. Because we know that we're struggling together. These questions,
let me pause it 2 seconds. Let me just pause it for 2 seconds. Let me get this take off. Do y'all think a family, after they just lost someone who they probably was hoping and expecting, someone who was probably their son, their daughter, their brother, whoever, after they just lost someone who they were probably hoping will probably bury them before they bury them? You get that? You get what I'm saying? They're hoping that their son will eventually bury them, not the other way around. Because that's how the natural progression goes through life. You bury your parents, you bury your grandparents, you bury your aunts, your uncles before they have to bury you. You think a family is really going to just want this attention after they just lost their loved one, or would they rather have their loved one back? I'm just asking for a friend. Yeah, so all that they just want attention, no, bro, that's victim blaming. They don't want attention, they want justice, and they just want answers. Because if it was your family member, or if it was your brother, your sister, or if it was your son or daughter, you want answers too.
Cases can be solved, and we can do it together. So I want to thank everybody for calling, right?
Well, I ain't gonna cut the
also, no more. Last thing, I want to encourage those who have not called yet, and you know that you have some information. One, I know that it's scary. I know that you may be scared. But if there's a time in your life to do the right thing, this is it. And you just have to be brave. And go ahead and please call us. These people, we need to. We need to. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Clark. And as Nolan's mother and father get ready to come, I cannot express to you how encouraged we are that we're going to get to the truth. I mean, so many things are coming to light. And we're going to get to the truth. We are not trying to cast aspersions on anybody. We want the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. And like we said, if that implication or exonerates you, then you got to talk to your Lord. You got to talk to your God. But we want the truth and nothing but the truth. And if it was your child, you would want the same thing. And so that's why everybody who got children, you could understand the pain, the agony that this mother and father have been dealing with since 4th of July.
And you got to understand, too, this is my last time cutting them off, but 4th of July for this family, 4th of July for anybody who has ever lost someone on a holiday, those holidays will never, ever, ever, as you're alive, those holidays will never be the same for those families. That's a holiday when it comes around, you're mourning instead of celebrating. I'm just throwing that out there. And for all y'all to say, yeah, they want attention, they want this or that. Nah, dog, it's not about that. It's about just getting answers. And if those answers lead to somebody getting arrested, then those answers lead to someone getting arrested. If those answers lead to someone potentially, at the end of the day being exonerated, being found innocent, then yes, hey, that's cool too. Even if it was just a drowning, then say if it was just a drowning. And let us be on our way. No matter which side of the aisle you on, there's still a family who's grieving and a family who lost their lives. Whose child lost their lives, excuse me.
You have people came, time they within hours of finding him saying, well, no foul play, just gone. How do you tell somebody just go on when my son is dead and nobody's giving us any answers? All those people out on that island, and you mean nobody know nothing? Nobody saw anything? No, we refuse to accept that nobody knows nothing. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth, and it's starting to come to light. Because truth is light, and we're going to get to the truth. Y'all give it up for the mother and father of Nolan Wells, Elmer and Christine.
all for being
I
here
know that
today.
father. You can still
It has
look. He
been
got that the look on his face, man. He's
22
still
days
grieving hard, bro. He don't want to be there right
since
now, but he know
we
he got to
have
be
been
there for his son.
able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This is
You can tell he's still heartbroken, bro.
difficult.
Because that was probably his
time
favorite
we have
son
ever
too.
had.
You know, parents say they don't got favorites, but they got favorites.
I want to tell
You look
you
at his face,
who
bro.
Nolan was.
You don't want to be
Nolan
there.
was a God-fearing,
Stuff ain't easy, bro.
God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today we are begging, because I'm not too proud to beg. We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand
That's all they searching for.
that all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him, because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened.
I can't help but look
So
at
again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid. Okay?
God damn, bro.
Thank you all
I can only imagine
so much
losing a
again.
son, bro.
We truly appreciate your love and support.
This is the Google AI Professional Certificate.
I knew they was gonna hit us
the skills for a new way of working.
Maybe
all right,
you've asked
I
AI
ain't
to
gonna lie.
help
We
write
just
an
gonna
email.
click this off on screen. All right, bear with me. I'm sorry, y'all. It is what it is. Back to the red schedule programming.
A new challenge every morning, waking up, trying to process this. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. And I think,
Dog, you can hear the grieving in his voice. Dog, he don't want to be there. You think he really want to be going around doing a press conference, trying to get justice and seek justice and trying to have the right thing done in this investigation just for his son? You can see it on his face. He don't want to be there. So for people to be attacking this family, for people to be saying this and that, dog, this is real life. Somebody really lost their lives. The son is no longer coming back to his family. And just looking at this father, dog, I don't have kids, but I can just only imagine, bro, the heartbreak that's going on with him. Especially when his son, Nolan, that was probably his favorite child. The child that never got in trouble, the child that always listened and was involved in sports. And he was probably not living through his child, but he was inspired by that one child. Parents say they don't got favorites, but they got favorites. And you can tell Nolan was probably his favorite son, even though he had multiple. Parents, you ain't lying. You ain't fooling nobody. But, dog, my heart breaks for his dad.
I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. I got a lot of stuff, but what I really want to say is, like my wife said, if you know something and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who say that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent wants that.
A fact. Any parent will want that.
Also, the disrespect is coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy in it? We, as Americans,
America don't have empathy for people who look like us.
Country. Not one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So,
can we drop a bomb for them? We all did make this country. It's a damn shame that we all can't come together in times of tragedy.
And just call our attorneys, give them information, and they'll take it and just help us out. And not just us, but all these families and counselors. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward. Because being a child is something that you need to get to life.
Ben Crump, stop fucking clapping. Damn, let him talk.
President Mario, I would just say the attacks, Christine
Ben for the piss me off.
has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews. But since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island, sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews. Can you all imagine anything worse than that? That is a shame before God. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine. We standing with you. We are standing with you.
And to be quite honest with you, just hitting that point once again, dog, for anybody, any souls who really went to her page, bro, to leave bad reviews and talk bad, it says a lot more about you than it does about her. She ain't had not one bad review her whole career. Now all of a sudden she getting bad reviews because she just seeking justice for her son. All she asked was for answers. She ain't blame nobody. They ain't blame Wyatt, Warren, and all those people. A fart. Y'all know what his name. You know, I don't want to get sued, so I got to say fart instead of, you know his name. But, they ain't asked for none of this. Y'all leaving bad reviews on their page? Dog, that's sad, dog. That people will even want to do that. They ain't blaming nobody. Nobody's even been arrested. So what the hell you mad at them for? Shit's crazy, bro. Welcome to America.
Yeah, and next we're going to have the mother of Daniel Irvin come and talk about her child and tell you what happened in her words, and then you hear brief remarks from attorney Sean DeRay.
We already, I'm going to put a spotlight. I'm going to give Daniel Irvin and his family a spotlight. I just really want to talk about Nolan Wells today. But I haven't touched on this Daniel Irvin's case, but we're going to talk about Daniel Irvin too. What's going on with this Daniel Irvin?
Tampering charges in this case is absolutely unacceptable. Tampering in itself means that someone intentionally hid, destroyed, or altered evidence. If the district attorney's office has that evidence, take that evidence, put it together, and present it to a new grand jury. And if the district attorney's office doesn't want to do it, we are calling on an independent investigation by the Department of Justice because we are here for the truth. And one last point I want to add, Mr. Crumb said, Daniel Irving, when these boys said that he drowned, he was a high school swimmer. He was on the swim team. He was a healthy, young 18-year-old male. So that story that he drowned accidentally, it doesn't add up. It does not add up, and we want the truth.
So with the Daniel Irvin story, if you haven't heard about it, if you've been living under a rock, Daniel Irvin, he was supposedly taken out on a boat with two of his friends, and they were going on a fishing trip. His two friends returned, but he didn't. And when the two friends returned, they said that they didn't know what happened to him. They didn't know where he was. Then a few days later, they came forward and just said, we destroyed his phone, we threw away his clothes, and we just left him in the river to drown, but we saw him drown. What? How he drowning? He on a swim team. You gotta make it make sense, baby. Yeah, even people who swim professionally, anybody can drown. But y'all threw away his phone, threw away his clothes, and then y'all came forward and y'all only get charged with tampering? How can we believe anything else you say when you first said you ain't know what happened to him? So that's what's going on with this Daniel Irvin case, just to give y'all a little kind of crazy, ain't it? Just saying. He drowned? Justice for Daniel Irvin too, baby.
Police and law enforcement are supposed to be protecting and serving. But my question today is, who are they protecting and which communities are they serving? What we want to know is why crimes against Black and brown people receive less justice and less coverage. And I'm going to give you some data to back it up, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to make any mistakes here. Over a 10-year period, statistics show that 53% of Black killings go uncharged, no charges related. And so that means over half of those related killings are never prosecuted. And when you think about arrest rates, 63% of white victims receive justice versus or compared to 47% of Black victims. So when people think we have two systems of justice in this country, the data kind of backs that up. And now we'll hear from Tamika.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? So now we're learning about Daniel Irvin. We was going to just talk about Nolan Wells today, but Daniel Irvin deserves some spotlight too, because ain't no way you go voting with two of your friends and then you ain't come back and they say, we don't know what happened. And then 2 days later they say, oh, he drowned. Yeah, we threw away his phone. Yeah, we threw away his clothes too. Huh?
So what a lot of you
this
guys
case even wilder than the Nolan case.
To give you like some context, my son told me that he was going to go outside and hang with some friends, okay? And I was under the understanding that he would be in the neighborhood. So I didn't know where my son was. I thought that he was just visiting friends in the neighborhood.
Right, you say you're going outside, you're going outside.
Around 8 o'clock or so, I started to text Mike, call Mike, and Mike was an honorable child. He wanted to serve and protect, be in the military. He loved people. He always had a joke to tell. He was very comical. So I called the police the following day at 12:30 in the morning, and I said, hey, my son ID is here, and his money is here, his social security is here, and I don't know where he's at, and this is not like him, so I'm reporting him missing under suspicious circumstances. The officers were very dismissive.
You can tell she's trying to not get angry, not get too upset.
The officers were very dismissive. So I didn't get any information about where my son was. I canvassed the neighborhood. I knocked on doors. I asked neighbors for video footage. I had to do the footwork, the research, the investigating. I had to do it. And so to the mothers, to anyone out there who have a loved one, do not wait for the police.
You can do
Come
this.
on, God.
You can be the first millennial in history.
My bad. Excuse my friend.
Okay, so fast forward, I reported my son missing. My son was to graduate in May. He was unable to graduate because the two boys murdered my son. They said my son
hold on. They can
jumped
sue you
off
for
the
that.
bridge, and I know that's not the truth.
Careful.
He was found in water. And not only that, my son was on the swim team. He was very comfortable with swimming in the pool, swimming in lakes. The autopsy report shows my son had an unobstructed airway. So my son did not drown. I want to know why the people that are in place to serve and protect failed to do their job from the very start. When I reported my son missing, it took them 35 hours, over 35 hours to input his information, only in the state system, showing that he was missing. They failed to enter his information in the NCIC, the National Criminal Database. Being my son was under 21, law enforcement had a responsibility to enter his information within 2 hours, and they failed to do it. And I'm here to fight for him. I want justice. We are in the pursuit of justice.
Justice for Daniel Irvin. Is going to be the family of Tyler Smith, who many of you haven't heard of at all.
I wish Daniel Irvin's mother was a little bit clearer of the timeline and some things that happened, but we're going to get into that Daniel Irvin case. I promise you that. We will get into that Daniel Irvin case. I know Nolan Wells case has been sweeping the nation, sweeping the news, but that Daniel Irvin case.
And I want to mention to say that Tyler Smith, life matters too. Tyler Smith, life matters.
Supporting all these families. I was asked many times, who is Tyler? What does Tyler mean to you? And I had to take a deep dive into that, because to give a few words wouldn't be justice. So I went into my prayer closet, as most families do. Because see, Tyler calls me now. And when people ask me to tell them, I find a struggle in finding words big enough to describe who he is. Tyler is charismatic. He's warmth. Tyler is love. Tyler is compassion and tolerance. Tyler is focus and determination. Tyler is an entrepreneur with dreams, goals, and a vision for his future. Tyler is a calming presence, a peacemaker, and a source of comfort to those around him. Tyler is that warm piece of cake straight out of the oven, that soft buttermilk biscuit that the butter glides across the top. Tyler is the depth of a baby's laughter and the warmth of a grandmother's hug. Tyler is what many people spend a lifetime searching for, but never fully find: a genuine soul with a kind heart and a beautiful spirit. For me, Tyler is much more than all of those things. He's my motivation, my determination, the wind beneath my wings. Even in his absence, he continues to give me strength. He has become a part of the reason I stand, the part of the reason that I keep moving forward. When I received that call at 6 a.m. that morning, that my grandson had been involved in a shooting, I thought, okay, hand, foot. And I arrived upon the scene of the hospital and found out that this was a gunshot wound to the head. Again, I'm a praying mother. I have a son who a year ago had a near fatal car accident. I know what God can do. I can't tell you what God can do. I've seen it. I watch it every day. I watch him learn how to walk and talk. And I comforted his grandfather and said, don't worry about this. We've already been through this fire. It'll be okay.
When the physician came out and pronounced my grandson, and she stated self-inflicted, accidental, I told her, you're a lie, and there's no truth in it. I explained to her immediately. I said, how do you have this evidence for you to know this? She said, because they said. I said, they said? She said, yes.
Who said, who was they?
As days progressed, my family and I began to move forward. We got none effort, energy at all from the Lexington Fayette County Police Department. We were told that we needed to accept accidental, self-inflicted. They offered no traces of gun residue, even though I called the coroner's office and the police department. And I begged and pleaded, please, bag his hands. No child, and I say child because it's relative, no one was searched on the scene. They took an investigation as a total from all 5 of these young people and said, they said this is what happened. I asked for gun residue on anyone. The answer that I was given, well, there's no need to bag his hands. Everyone in this room would have gun residue on them. That was their excuse to me. When they moved my grandson in.
My bad, y'all, but what they saying is, dog, for them not to have any kind of gun residue on your hand, I shoot guns for fun. And yeah, if you hold a gun, you might have a little residue on it. But if you shoot that motherfucker, you're going to have a lot of residue on it. So you mean to tell me you ain't checked none of the residue from anyone's hands? Because some people going to have the person who shot the gun going to have all the residue on it. Bro, what? Okay.
Office,
kind of crazy the police didn't investigate
which
that.
I was told wouldn't happen until that following Monday. Miraculously, in 2 hours, he was on his way to the medical examiner in the Capitol. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., they came back and told me again, accidental, self-inflicted. For 17 days, my sons and I worked tirelessly, investigating everything on our own. The police department gave us nothing, absolutely nothing. They treated me as if I were a pirate, asking all the wrong questions. Why do you need to know? We've handed you that carrot already. Take a bite, settle down. It's accidental, self-inflicted. As I talked to the police chief, I explained to him, he said, well, what do you want from this? What are you looking for? I said, what would you be looking for?
Exactly.
I want transparency. I want you to simply do the job that you were paid to do.
Protect and serve, right? That's what they're supposed to do.
We just ask you to earn the paycheck that you either receive this week or the next. We ask you to simply, the same way you go into our black and brown neighborhoods and you can investigate and you can interrogate and you can charge, give us the same respect.
Talk to him.
Tyler is loved. He's loved. But most importantly, Tyler calls her mama. Tyler calls me Pepper. That's my baby, Pepper. He's my baby. It will be my dying breath to say his name. No stone will go unturned. I'm not afraid to go to hell and sit with the devil about my work.
Amen.
I want transparency. I want someone to speak on it. Continue to say our names. Continue to say our children's names. We deserve answers.
With this case in
We
particular,
deserve
though,
justice.
they said, so to get people, because she didn't really talk about it, but they said with this Tyler Smith case, they said literally, that they was playing Russian roulette on the 4th of July. Russian roulette. Russian roulette? And y'all really out here? Never mind. But y'all playing Russian roulette? Is this for play? Is this real life? They was playing Russian roulette and only the black person dies in the room. Okay.
We deserve transparency. That's
I'm
all we're
not
asking
saying
for.
anybody did it. I'm just
I
saying.
thank you all so much for the time and the space that you have given
Russian roulette?
every one of us.
Who plays Russian roulette? It's out on the goddamn video game.
Justice for Tyler Smith.
Oh, well, he played Russian roulette. He was the one who died. He was playing Russian roulette.
And we're going to get to the truth on Tyler. I promise you, we're going to get to the truth of what happened to Tyler Smith. At this time, President Mario, we're going to ask that the Congresswoman just say a brief word and take questions. Yes, Evans, CBC, thank you all very much.
Let me simply say the two most powerful words we can say. To you as families, to the Urban League family, to you, President
crazy,
CEO, my good friend, to you, Attorney
Not kind of
General.
crazy. This is crazy.
Thank you. But let me just say, the Congressional Black Caucus, we aren't just coming today. We communicated with Attorney Crump, with President Mark Muriel, and we stand with you. And I'll end with your words, Mark. We're going to let justice roll down like a stream and righteousness like mighty waters. We are the Congressional Black Caucus. We stand for you, for justice, transparency, and righteousness. Thank you and God bless you.
You know, with all this Nolan Wells stuff and all this information and everything that's going on, I still want y'all to remember this one thing. What are Epstein files at? I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to the rest of the program. Don't forget about Epstein files, though, because we got some pedophiles in office. and with this war going on, with this Nolan Wells case, they getting exactly what they want. Oh, they forgot about the Epstein files. No, we didn't. Just saying. Remember that. My bad. I digress. My bad. My bad. I'll bring it up old stuff. That's so mean. That's so mean.
Members of the media, if anyone in the working media has a question for Attorney Crump, then please identify yourself, speak a little loudly. Go ahead.
Can't even hit a question. Can they get a mic to people who asking questions in the audience?
Yes, ma'am. And that's an excellent question, because thank God for us being able to get the national attention on Nolan Wells' case. And that doesn't happen just by coincidence. It's a lot of the civil rights community, a lot of the activists, Reverend Al, people like Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, everybody on social media coming to say, no, this ain't adding up. We got to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then we get contacted by our good friend, Attorney Sean.
Tools from Harbor Freight are doing hard work in real garages across America. Like
you too. Get off that with me.
And Attorney Brooklyn start working with them. And then we get a call to the call center, President Marielle. And I simply can't believe what happened to Tyler Smith. It shocks my conscience. And so Kareem Ali and Cliff Jones, my investigators, they start to investigate. And we're saying, this can't be true. They really didn't do a gunshot residue test on the hands. That's basic. And so it hits me that all of them are 18-year-old black kids that died in very questionable circumstances when Nolan was the only black kid on the boat. Daniel was the only black kid allegedly on the fishing trip. And Tyler was the only black kid at the 4th of July celebration party, house party. And all of them are 18 years old. Look at the dates. That's eerie. When you look at the dates, February 8th, Tyler Smith is born. July 4th, 2026, he is dead. Can I see the other? Oh, this is Daniel Irvin. I mean, he's born November 21st, 2007. He is dead on April 17th, 2026. President Nolan Wells, born August 19th, 2007. He is dead in July of 2026. The date is yet to be determined. All of these young black kids were born in 2007, and all three of these black kids died 2026, 18 years of age, on the cusp of manhood. And I said, no, we got to show that this is not a coincidence that all these young 18-year-old black men are ending up dead and nobody's being held accountable. No, we got to bring the law. We got to bring the law.
Nah, that's a fact. Because the alarm needs to be rung. That's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. I mean, it's not a coincidence that they died, but it's also not a coincidence that their deaths aren't being investigated the proper way. And this is not going to be a president that's going to be continuing to move forward. We're not going to continue to hold that president. That when black people die, it just, it was suicide. It was, nah. Do the proper investigation and give us a proper answer.
Members who were planning to come to Nashville asked me late last week if we would be commenting on, dealing with, shedding any light on the Nolan Wells case. I invited Ben Crump to come to Nashville to brief us on the Wells case. In the course of that conversation, he shared with me, by the way, there are 2 other similar cases. I said, 2 other similar cases? I said, Ben, can you bring all of the families to Nashville? Because the thousands of urban leaders who are here are interested in, have a solidarity with, want to hear directly, not through filters, about the circumstances of these cases. And that is what the National Urban League Conference is all about. It is about dealing with the pressing, cutting-edge issues that face the nation and face Black America. So we are here because this is what we do.
Yes.
Whether it's Trayvon Martin back in the early teens, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, we deal with these issues because our constituency wants to hear directly. And I know that he does not engage in chasing false cases. That he also, when he takes a case, that he's going to elevate the word and the personality and the pain of the families. All too often, when Black families are victims of violence and victims of unfair justice system, they suffer in silence. They can't find lawyers with the courage and the ability. They suffer in silence. So I know when Ben Crump has a matter, he is always welcome at the National Urban League Conference to come and bring us up to date. And that's why we're here in Nashville. Other press questions? Any others? Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself, please. New York Post.
Yeah, we know about the question. We were ready for it. This attack and this threat to sue us and the family for defamation, it's a distraction. We're not distracted by it at all. And it's about getting to the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we're focused on. We haven't done anything other than ask questions to get to the truth. Okay. Another one. Okay. That accusation doesn't deserve a response. That's right. There's no dignity associated with someone standing up for children who have died. We don't waste our time arguing with donkeys. We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract from the real issue. We have 3 dead black young men under suspicious circumstances. And I don't think the New York Post ought to give elevation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice and someone suggests all we want is publicity. You know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate mail, hate this, hate that. No one. Our dignity in standing up. And I'm not your reporter, you work for the paper, your editors told you to ask this question. I want you to know we will not be distracted. And I'm not, Ben Crump is like any lawyer. He should get paid for his work. That's right. Just like every Wall Street lawyer, every Trump lawyer, every insurance defense lawyer. And I really want everyone to understand, let's not be distracted. Let's not give oxygen. Let's not give air to haters and distractors and dissuaders. So thank you for your question.
Come on, I can't hit. Can they give the microphone to somebody who asking these questions? I can't hear the questions. I can't. I got a whole bunch of videos that we're gonna get into after this, so y'all just be patient. All right. Got videos literally queued up, so as soon as this press conference is over, we're gonna really get to the nitty-gritty of it.
I will not never surrender the fact that I am American. However, we celebrate Juneteenth. I don't necessarily celebrate July 4th, but I note it as an important day. And I'm not going to fall into the trap that some want to. I fly the American flag in front of my house. But on the other side of my porch, I fly the Juneteenth flag. And we are not going to let anyone diminish our birthright, our constitutional right, our birthright to be treated fairly and justly in this country. It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a Black American. And I'm proud to be one. But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, Black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country. Amen. They've always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times. And I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us, but what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow, let me tell you what a true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice. A true patriot stands up for the families
That's a fact.
and the victims
of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable, doesn't make excuses for an unjust justice system. So we gotta understand that we're not gonna get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country. That's the way I feel. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight and litigate and march to open doors of opportunity. The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by
YouTube,
thinking
you're
about
too
it.
clever, man, because you do it at the worst time.
This movement, children, will be relitigating the battles of our parents. This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable. So when we stand up for these families, and we'll stand up for other families, and we'll stand up for other people, we're doing it because we are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable.
You ain't saying a loud word.
This Urban League movement has a mission. And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends. We have no permanent enemies. We only have permanent interests. So thank you for your question.
Amen.
And let me say this before we move on to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans, as WBC was saying, we have this duality. I mean, on one hand, we know that when the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway because we are American citizens. And if anybody built this country, it was our ancestors with the rolling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the things that made this very young country become such a prosperous country at such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors. So, yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July essence every year because my ancestors built this joint. And then I'm really going to celebrate on the Juneteenth because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestors. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in important dates to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America.
And he did tell not one lie.
And I want the TV man that's going to be it.
Didn't tell not one lie. Because if we really being honest, America didn't start booming to win. America only, we 250 years old. We ain't. Some of these other, like China, they've been around forever, for thousands of years. Japan, they've been around forever. America, we still young pups out here. So how we prosper so quick? Because of slavery. Because you were paying little to nothing for the work that was being done. Because you owned my ancestors. You owned us. That's why America boomed so quick. Cheap labor. Taking and conquering. Destroying. But let's not forget about the cheap labor. So yeah, he ain't lying when he say, yeah, we built this country. Y'all built it too. Because y'all was in charge. I mean, you had some part. without us. Just saying.
To Daniel Irvin, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to the Daniel Irvin case. Sean and his team and their mother been fighting and not getting progress. We're going to get answers, Sean.
We have not had any progress with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the District Attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case, we're going to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
You know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Ryan, she said that there was a witness after the trial that said Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she said, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You're saying my son jumped off the bridge. Well, that's going to cause you to limp.
Yes, that is true. And there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives, and they failed to enter that information in the probable cause affidavit.
Take your time.
The witness also said that the detectives just grossly overlooked that, and they failed to enter that information. Again, I know Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence is offensive for the murder they committed.
I would just respond to this here on Ryan's case. And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information, Attorney DeRay and I, but she does not believe her son went into a lake.
Hey, that mama ain't playing no game. Hold on, let me show the mama.
Swimmer and drowned.
She ain't playing no game. She on y'all
that.
next.
You have the right as a parent to question that. As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother, and we think the shoe is about to drop on that. And we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again thank the parents of Nolan Wells because people are coming forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. She had the last name. Okay.
Next time during a press conference, can we please give microphones to the people asking the question so we can provide a little bit more context to what's being asked? I appreciate the answers. I need a little bit more context.
That we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces with people that do not look like you. And it's unfortunate that we have to have these conversations, but they are needed in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my Black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do the things to protect our children.
Last question before we get into some topics that I really want to talk about. I'm trying to be patient, but this press conference is going a little long. All right, since we can't even hit a question, let's just go to the answer.
Families face these types of challenges. They need good counsel.
That's right.
They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Ben Crump or Lee Merritt, and there are many, many others around the nation who do this kind of important work. And I just encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at the Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time. And what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people, and that is really, really important in the case. I want to confront the question you asked about race. Something in this country, whenever a black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign? That's right. Of playing baseball. I have seen this movie for many years.
All right, man, let them talk. Stop clapping.
Call it out because we are not going to be persuaded, distracted, and intimidated for standing up for members of our community. Let the charges come. I say it's like they're blowing bubbles. It's just a lot of rhetoric, it's nasty, and it's hateful. But you know what I found? For every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people. Yes. Who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out, they may not go on social media, but they're in solidarity. We have to remember that. The loudest voices in the room are not the most important voices in the room. Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities. I will power motion. Let's thank them from. Let's one more time thank these families for their.
All right, so there you have it, folks. The press conference. We got a small update as far as the Nolan Wells case. We didn't hear any crazy or major updates that I was hoping for, to be quite honest with you. But then again, dog, if I'm being honest, we got enough. We got enough. And with us getting enough, you know, it kind of comes down to like that it's a lot of injustices going on in this country still. Even after all these years, after all this time. And yes, I know that people aren't perfect. I know that sometimes some people may never even get justice in some situations, but we can't have a president, not a president, not a president, not the president of the country, but a president. You know what I'm saying? We can't have a president to where it is when a black person loses their life, we just say, oh, cut and dry, we're done with it. And with all three of these cases that they talked about today, that was kind of the same sentiment. With Nolan Wells, accidental drowning, no foul play. Daniel Irvin, they came out 2 days later. The boys who he was with only get charged with tampering, but they only get charged with murder, even though they threw away his phone, threw away his clothes. And then when they was first asked what happened to him, they said, oh, we don't know. With the Tyler Smith case, he was playing Russian roulette with 5 witnesses in the room, 5 other people. He playing Russian roulette. Oh, he was the one who died. You know how Russian roulette go. Oh, it's just unfortunate that he was the one who killed himself. It's unfortunate that when he got the gun, boop, he died. What? Playing Russian roulette? Out of all things you can do. You can't play, you get play Russian roulette with a Nerf gun, but you playing with a real gun? And then the only black person in the room, he ends up being the one who dies? And I'm not trying to make this about race, but I'm just saying the obvious. All these cases deserve the proper investigations. All these cases deserve to be properly looked at. All these cases deserve the attention that every other case deserves. But we're not going to have the president, not the president, but we're not going to set the precedent that when black people die, people of color die, they just cut and dry, clean. We know what happened. We'll need to investigate. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that at all. So now, after the press conference, I want to show y'all Don Lemon and what his minion had to say. Daniel, that's other Daniel, though. I'm just messing.
Takeaway in terms of a Nolan Wells update, it was just they're going to now coordinate the phones together to look at the geolocation data and just any of the information, because our understanding is that
really that press conference was to draw more attention
mother
to
has
Daniel.
said that his phone didn't have any pictures. The Snapchat was deleted. There was.
So really what he's trying to say is what we really got out of that press conference with the Nolan Wells press conference today. It would just really, in all honesty, bring in more awareness to the Daniel Irving case and bringing more awareness to the Tyler Smith case. That's really what it was. For Nolan Wells, we didn't get too many updates today, but I got some videos that we're going to talk about and that I'm going to show y'all because we do got a few.
There's nothing on. They're going to be able to analyze that. I think actually would be make for an interesting guest if we can get someone on late notice for 5 who can talk about what other information they could find and the significance of them looking at all the phones together. So that was one piece. The other piece, and again, we knew this, but they are working with investigators to determine the timeline because, as Ben Crump said, we know that he washed ashore, and we know that there were tides, and tides carry bodies in certain ways, but we know that he washed ashore where that boat, where those young men were on who left, but he washed ashore where that boat left. And so Ben Crump's mind is saying, well, how can that be the case when you have an ocean and tides and water? And so that was the other big takeaway. And my last takeaway is just the humanity of this all. I mean, we have to stop and reflect and remember that when you're talking about any of these cases, I mean, 3 weeks ago, or in the case of Daniel Irving, April, not that long ago, and these families not only being strong enough there to stand on that stage today and call for justice for their loved one, but also immediately, Don, did you notice that all of them, the police, the investigators, said case closed? I mean, we talked about this with
every single case.
Nolan, case closed. He drowned, nothing. Daniel Irving, case closed. He drowned. Tyler Lewis, he self-inflicted gunshot wound, case closed.
See? And that was a real reason why they had that press conference today. Because like I told y'all, we're not going to set the precedent that when black people die, we're not investigating. It's cut and dry and clean. Unless it happens in a black community, because then if it happens in a black community, we're going to definitely investigate that. How many black people can we arrest and how many black people we locking up? But if it happens in any other community, it was just an accidental drowning. It was just a suicide. The girl, she's hanging from a tree, even though she has 2 broken legs. She's hanging from a tree. What? She's 13. Oh, okay.
Every single one of those families had to put, and continuously to this day, has had to put their grief on the back burner to fight for justice. And I think that is what is fueling a lot of the emotion around this case, because far too often when the victims are black, you have to fight. And as each one of those families said, when you're fighting for just these simple, what happened to my child, you are seen as a pest in America in 2026. Police departments treat you as a pest, not as a grieving parent or relative who just wants answers for the loved one who died. And so it is sad that we are still living in a society that you cannot trust the police department, that you heard them say, if something like this happens to your loved one, fight for an independent investigation, because sadly they feel, and honestly I do as well, that the police department is not going to have your best interests in heart if you look like you or I do not.
And it's Tyler Smith's mother who said that, and all the other mothers. But the interesting thing to me is what you mentioned was, they said that the people at the police department, she said it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, or in the hospital, it said a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And they said, well, how do you know that? And she says, because they said. And she said, they said, you're a liar. They said, that's not the evidence. And still, they went and they did it. They did another investigation. They still said it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound without doing any type of test for trace evidence of bullets or gunshot fragments or any of that. Gunshot residue. And so, yeah, you're right about that. Also, As it relates to the phone, they said there was going to be a joint coordination. The district attorney was involved. The FBI will be present as well. And then the last thing that attorney said, which I thought was true when you talked about the humanity of it, he said that that society is.
So that's another update too. So the FBI with the sheriff's department and with Nolan Wells private investigators, they all will be present when they go to search Nolan's phone. So the transparency, at least on Nolan's family side, is very, very, very present because they've been transparent. Yeah, we want all y'all to, because when we uncover what's on that phone,
Judged by how most people, the most powerful people, treat the most vulnerable. And that resonated across this case. If you look at what's happening with this administration, how they treat the most vulnerable, how they treat immigrants in this country, how they treat poor people in this country, how they treat people who don't have agency in this country, how they talk about transgender people and members of the LGBTQ and minorities in this country. It's really, that was one of the most poignant statements. I thought society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable. The parents said that if you were Nolan's friend, if you're merely Nolan's friend, and if the roles were reversed, she said, what would you, Roland would say something. Roland, well, she didn't say that. One of the attorneys said Roland would say something. So they expect him to, that you should say something as well. The mom said it's been 27 days since we've been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell them that we love him. This has been the most difficult time that we have ever had. And I want to tell you who Nolan was, she said. He was God-fearing. He was a good, loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable in his space. He never excluded anyone. He wanted people to feel good. He lifted everybody up. He was your biggest cheerleader. And so she said, all they want is just information, and all of the attacks are distractions. Now let's talk about, when they said the New York Post, we knew what was coming. I don't know what the exact question was because there wasn't a microphone, but let me just tell you, okay, if y'all don't know Louisiana, if you don't know Mark Morial, that was mild for him when he said, we don't answer to donkeys. Now, I know he wanted to say asses or something a bit more specific to that. He
knew where he was.
That has holes on the end of it. And so that's exactly what he was saying. But in Louisiana, what we will say is, basically what he was saying to that reporter is, bless your heart. And then he went on to read her in a very intelligent way, which was the right thing to do. Do you want publicity? I would have said, hell yes, I want publicity, because that's how things get done. That's how we get attention, is through the publicity. What do you think the media is? The media will put this on, and in a sense, that is publicizing. That's what it is. That's why it's called a publication, is because it's publicity. And so, yes, because we don't want people to forget what is happening here. We don't want people to forget our loved ones. We don't want these investigations to go by the wayside. And unless you apply pressure, as we have heard, Daniel, from this press conference, then, as you said, you get treated as a nuisance.
I like it, Daniel.
You know, it's, oh, you're a nudge. Stop bothering me. Oh, you're a pest.
I never once heard when the media covered Nancy Guthrie day after day in January when she first went missing. Oh, they just want publicity. Or when you think about the murders that happened in Idaho of those, I believe, 4 or 5 young white children, or they were in college, who died. And we heard all of the publicity that happened around those cases because we just wanted answers. Everybody wanted answers. And now there is a gentleman who is behind bars, who is charged with the murders of those people in Idaho. We still don't have answers with Nancy Guthrie. There's a lot of questions around that case. But why were those cases treated differently than these 3 cases? When these 3 families just...
Yeah, because you ain't get a smear campaign saying, oh, the girls were in the dorm drinking. The girls were in the dorm. They were snorting cocaine. The girls were in the dorm and they were having sex and doing all this crazy stuff. You ain't had none of that when those cases went on. Right? You ain't had none of that. No smear campaigns. No, they had this and that in their system. No victim blaming. But, of course, when it's the other way around, and we're just looking for answers. Ain't nobody getting blamed. Ain't nobody even been charged yet. But y'all shouldn't even be searching for answers. You should just accept that he drowned or that it was a suicide. What?
Say they want the same level of treatment. They just want answers.
Yeah. Well, you know why.
What? I do.
You already know why. Thank you, Daniel. And that was, I mean, look, as far as, look, we did get some new information, but very minimal, I believe, information on that. But still, what we got out of it, I thought was good and pertinent, and it definitely warranted us coming on to discuss it. We're going to continue to discuss it today. Don't forget to join us today live.
All right, but that's all I wanted to show y'all as far as that. Another video coming for you, coming right at you. All right, this is coming from someone who was quiet at first, but now she's deciding to speak out and speak up. And I just wanted to show y'all this because what she says is true, and what she says is correct, and what she said is right.
About Nolan Wells yesterday, not because I want followers or because I want people to think I'm one of the good ones. I spoke up because it's the right thing to do. Because until white people see for themselves and speak up against the racist and unjust country we live in, nothing is going to change. The truth is, I didn't always see the world this way. It took years of listening, learning, and being willing to admit that as a white woman, I'm able to move through this country differently than those who are Black and brown. And I'm still learning. I still get things wrong, but I'd rather be willing to learn in public and stand as an ally than stay silent because I'm afraid of criticism. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but I do hope we can agree that every family deserves compassion, every investigation deserves to follow the evidence, and every human life deserves equal dignity. I spoke up about Nolan Wells yesterday, not because I want followers or.
And we appreciate you sticking up. We appreciate you speaking up. We do. We do. Because she's right. The only way that this is going to change is not about us continuing to spread news, say this, say that, say this, say that. But, dog, it comes down to all of us coming together and seeing the injustices and trying to come together to change them and do something about it. That's the only way we will see change in this country, is if we all come together as a collective, to try to make the change happen. Or we can keep on doing this. Production, you set me up.
Courthouse Couture, I'm a lawyer, but not your lawyer. Yes, I've been practicing law for 16 years. And yes, we're going to have to talk about these new so-called reports on Nolan Wells. If you're like me, you were confused with all of the news articles that came out today that basically said Nolan Wells was drinking heavily on Horn Island. And you, like me, were probably also wondering, what does this have to do with anything? Whether he was drinking or not, we still don't know what happened to him. Toxicology results, not back. Cause of death, unknown. But yet somehow, people wanted to drop this story as if somehow this is helping piece together the puzzle when this doesn't help us understand anything yet. This TMZ article starts off with Nolan Wells was drinking heavily while partying with his friends on Mississippi's Horn Island. Again, what does this have to do with anything? It says it's citing preliminary information in a document, Mississippi's Department of Marine Resources. It then cites ABC News. So let's go look at ABC News. Go to this article, and this isn't really helping me either. Clearly says Wells' cause of death is not known. Here it just says witnesses told investigators that Nolan Wells had been drinking heavily. Again, what is the point of this? We still don't know what's happened to him. Don't know at all. It tells us that it came from an email that listed basic information for Wells, including physical description, as searchers looked for him. Okay, that's not helpful, but this is what's going to be really interesting. The article that somehow helped me piece all of this together was on, of all places, Fox News. I was shocked as well. This article makes it much more clear. It says that the document that everybody seems to be referencing, July 5th email, Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, was obtained by Fox News Digital. Last known location, and the email lists alcohol intake, heavy. It lists that as a direct quote. This article also says, but does not identify the source of that information. Mind you, TMZ, ABC News, random website, and even Fox News have went on and on and on about it. We still don't know what happened to Nolan Wells. We still don't have a clear timeline. And somehow we have went on about An alleged fact, he was drinking heavily, which doesn't tell us what happened to him. Every time you see a news story now, you are going to have to vet it. And I'm going to talk about some tools that I'm using to help me get better with this, but you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My name is Courtney of Courthouse Couture. I'm a lawyer, but now you're a lawyer.
Yeah, so she is a lawyer. And she said the obvious. Y'all just running with the story saying he had alcohol in the system, he had this and that. Why, if he had alcohol in the system, all of them young boys on that island that day had alcohol in the system? So the real question is, why the does it matter? Because it doesn't. It doesn't matter that he had alcohol in his system. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because everyone on that island had alcohol in their system. And everyone on that island probably had heavy alcohol in that system, in their system. But, you know, it goes with the smear campaign. It goes with the victim blaming. He had alcohol in his system, so he should have died? Huh? That's really what we're saying? Because that's what the headlines are saying. That's what y'all making it seem like. Because he had alcohol in the system, he deserved to pass away. He deserved to lose his life. That's how I'm looking at it. It's unfortunate and it's sad, man. But I wanted to show this video. All right? I wanted to show this video because, once again, Nolan's family, they have to push back at Tristan Shepard, or whatever the hell his name is, because he is continuing to say false information.
Christine, I'll start with you. At this point, what is your biggest question about what's happening with this investigation?
It is really the same question that started it all, which is what happened to Nolan. That is the only question that we want answered. We just want to know what happened to our son. I know I personally, through my social media, also attorney Ben and his team through their social media, that's been the big focus, you know, just trying to make sure that everyone understands that at the end of the day, we would want what any parent would want, which is answers to find out what happened.
That kid Trace in the interview say that he was friends with Nolan and that you guys would know him. Do you know him? Do you recognize him?
No, I don't. Just because you park your vehicle in someone's yard doesn't mean that they have to know you. It's
because maybe you parked it there because y'all was coming by, y'all was hanging with Nolan as a whole group, and maybe the whole group, you were the one who drove, and y'all left the car there, and you went to go and hang out and live your best lives. That's easily understandable. They wouldn't say they don't know him just for fun, but they don't know him. Why would they lie about knowing him?
sounds more to me like he's more focused on getting people to know him and getting away from the fact that his so-called best friend is not here anymore. Everyone that they may have interviewed are at home. Our son isn't. Our son should be in college right now. We should be receiving phone calls from him about how his day went, but we can't. And we just want everybody to focus on what the real subject matter is.
Understood. And Christine, I'll start with you. At this point,
subject matter.
What is your biggest question about what's happening with this investigation?
Let me repeat.
It is really the same question that started it all, which is what happened to Nolan.
Period. That's all they want to know. That's all we as the people want to know. Come on, man. Come on, man. All we want to know is what happened to Nolan Wells. But we got people like this guy continuing to want likes and clicks and doing anything in his power to get them.
And I appreciate y'all. Let me say this, man.
I wish that there was a day that we all could get along. I'm not doing anything wrong to black people. It's just some of y'all Negroes don't want to hear criticism. Y'all will be just fine if I never mention anything about black people killing each other every day. Just for y'all love me.
White people kill
while we're laying dead in the street.
You kill the people that's in your vicinity, sir, or that's in your community if you have problems with them. It's a known fact and statistic. White people kill white people, Mexicans kill Mexicans, and black people kill black people. Come on now.
You love me because I'm not pointing it out. Homeboy got 6 baby mamas, don't take care of none of his kids. And you mad at me for pointing it out, but you're not mad at him for not taking care of his kids.
That's between him and him.
You mad at me for telling that a brother need to stop pulling guns on police officers. You're not mad at the brother for doing that. You mad at me for talking about him doing it. No. Have y'all ever realized that? These Neanderthals are mad at me for pointing things out. They're not mad at the people who are doing the wrong.
Nah, sir. No.
They mad at me for being a cop.
No.
Patrolling my own community.
Former cop.
But they're not mad at these brothers killing each other every day. I ain't seen D.L. Hughley complain one time about, like, tell me this. Which one is worse? Brandon Tatum giving political commentary, and I call everybody out. Y'all sensitive Negroes get mad when they black. I talk trash about white people all the time. But for some reason, you Fabergé eggs of society can't handle criticism.
What a clips of that.
And so you mad and want to kill me because I'm just pointing out the obvious.
We don't want to do that. We don't think anybody should lose that.
I'll leave it at that.
But if you're a
y'all
coon,
for watching, I appreciate
let you know you're a coon.
Let me.
Because you're a coon. It's sad, dog. Because instead of us really getting to the root of what's going on, the root of the problems, the real factual information, and the real things that's going on involving Nolan Wells' case, you saying, oh, he took a polygraph, but he didn't take a polygraph. You saying, oh, this happened, but it didn't happen. Come on. Come on, man. And then yesterday, I covered this yesterday, but I didn't show Secret Service Sam, our other very intelligent brother out here doing his groundwork. I didn't show him talking about it, but let's go. Oh, and of course, production.
Here, and oh my God, Officer Race Tatum is just off with these lies. He was on Nancy Grace. Yeah. She asked him if the boys took a polygraph test, which he claimed they all took this test. Check this out.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
My understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed, and all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test. Why do you say that's from what you
understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So I'm saying from my understanding, they told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lot to take the test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed.
Yes, Squirrel told me they took a lie detector test. I wasn't there, but they told me they did. And Warren didn't take it because he was lying, but you know what I mean.
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. But
you just said it was a lie detector test. So, sir, did they take a lie detector test or not? You just said they did. But now you're saying, oh, it was a version of a lie detector. Which one is it?
Equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum.
It's either
Did they take a lie detector test when they told you they took the lie detector test, and then Nancy just completely busts him down in this lie? It is insane the levels in which he will go to gargle the grapes of these boys. Secret Service Sam Out Samson for president of the world.
He is going through great lengths. He is going through great lengths. And if you didn't hear, Warren's dad, all right, Warren's dad did come out yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? And he is putting up money for Nolan. So let me go ahead. I was going to show y'all the actual article that TMZ released. Actually, let me just pull that up for y'all real quick. All right, let's go to TMZ. TMZ. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Hold on. Bear with me. All right. Where is it? 2 hours later. Actually, yeah, let's just do this. I'm going to play the video first, and then I'll pull y'all the actual update. All right, let's get to it.
Service Sam here for a Nolan Xavier Wells update. And Dr. Benjamin Hudson, Warren Hudson's father, is now offering $50,000 as a reward for any information that could lead to the arrest of the person who had any involvement with Nolan Wells. Now, what's interesting is that everybody's been pushing the accidental drowning narrative. So are they now admitting that foul play is possible?
I don't want to know about all that, Secret Service, Sam. But here's the article. Nolan Wells' friend's dad offers $50,000 reward for more info. So, yes, Nolan Wells' friend, Warren, the one who did the interview, his dad is offering a $50,000 reward. Say, hey, Wyatt, hey, Fart. Hey, y'all go ahead and make a call, man. Go ahead, you might as well throw somebody under the bus, man, because if you don't, not only one of y'all going down, everybody going down. So, protect yourself. Protect yourself. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. My gal last night, I don't know if I showed this last night. Actually, I did show this last night. My bedroom lawyer, she's getting sued, but she ain't backing down. She ain't going for none of it. When I say none of it, none of it. But let's see what she had to say, because I believe, and then we're going to get into a few of her videos as well. So give me 2 seconds. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Perfect.
Warren's dad's smart, right? The other one, instead of him he want to go spend that $50,000 on getting a lawyer to sue me. Man, that makes you look more guilty. That makes you look like you have more shit to hide, and it pisses everyone off. If you would have went with Warren Hudson, if you would have went with that move, you would have went from fucking culprit to quasi-hero. Now you're going to public enemy number one because everybody's behind me, the lawyers and the streets. So I got to look. Warren, 1 point. 1 point for them, bitch. Rack it up, right?
And she's saying 1 point for them because Warren's dad, plot twist. Plot twist. Because Warren's dad, he is offering reward money. But Fart's family, a.k.a. I'll say his name, Bart, his family, they're suing people over defamation. Why are you just rushing to that? Because what she says right here is kind of factual.
So I want to say, I hope y'all know, I have not ever mentioned anything about Katie or anything with that relationship. I've not even investigated that. So the people that are running with that narrative, that's who you have to go sue. Because what I did was report the facts based on actual evidence released from the Coast Guard, CETO, and GPS coordinates. It's not my fault that all of those things mention y'all. That's not my fucking fault. Those are official public documents that I was reporting on. Now, if you mad about the Katie story, show me where I said that, because now y'all really don't have no case, because I ain't said shit about Katie. I ain't said nothing about none of that. So go find them people, because I'm reporting on facts from official records. Also, I want to say,
that's a fact. That's a fact. Because Bart, if we're being honest, yes, I'm going to say your name because you can try to sue me. I got a lawyer. I'm cool. I got a few of them, actually. You know, that comes.
So, I'm not the one who lied and said I was in Wyoming for a year. All right? There's screenshots of, like, that dude saying that. So, you have to go prove you weren't in Wyoming for a year now. So, all right, let's do that. Let's do that then, if that's what y'all want to do. Because what the fuck are you even alleging that I'm saying? I'm a lawyer. You understand that? Everything that I'm saying is based on a fact that was published by official records, official entities, and the person in question ratting on himself. I ain't make the Wyoming story up. Also, I'm not the one who lied and said I was in Wyoming for a year.
I think our bedroom lawyer, I think she just might beat the case. I think that she might just be all right. But Bart, as for you, my friend, it ain't looking pretty. Because confirmed name missing on the person's report, on the Coast Guard report, that was you. Your name was listed, Bart. Name mentioned in a CETO audio, potentially that was you as well. They said, damn it, Bart, we heard it. GPS location matched with Fort Bayou. Yes, your house is in Fort Bayou, and the GPS coordinates of that Triton Boat 22, it went to your house, sir. At least that's what the GPS says. And then number 5, you said that you were in Wyoming, and you haven't been to Mississippi in over a year. But then your mom came out, she clarified that. Oh, no, he was talking that he hasn't. Yeah, all right. And then your pool does have a basketball goal. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me play this clip because we got to continue.
Scroll down my page. I was even telling you what that damn it fart meant. I was telling you that to me, that doesn't mean anything. You might go read into damn it fart and want to put your own. I know objectively what those words mean. That only means that I can prove fart was there. That doesn't mean anything else. And that's also on my page. So I'm just looking at evidence and telling you what it means or doesn't mean. That's all I'm doing. So, like, y'all gonna sue me for that? Sue me. I never killed nobody. I never alleged nothing with Katie. I just, from what I fucking saw was the facts that we are gathering associated with this person's involvement. That's all from official records. You can even scroll down my page.
Facts. And she ain't lying. She ain't lying, y'all. Hell no. Hold on, y'all. Let me get to the next video because she's going off now on TMZ too, because TMZ, they own that with her. Because it looked like she could damn near sue TMZ. Yeah. It's never a dull moment, man. Let's get to this real quick. last few topics before we get up out of here.
Now y'all could have at least used my pretty face in there. That's fucked up, dog. Y'all gonna plug my OnlyFans, but then not fucking use my face? That's fucked up, dog. Hey, look at put the face up in there, baby. Don't forget the face, baby. Hey, TMZ, it's about fucking time. Do you know how long I've been trying to get to you? Imagine their strategy of trying to call me an OnlyFans model as if that would be some sort of negative thing, when it was like, I couldn't have paid them to promote my OnlyFans. Do y'all understand how this works? Marketing is expensive. If y'all sue me, I have free lawyers. I don't want to pay for the marketing, so y'all are paying for my marketing by wasting money with lawyers. Thank you. I've been trying to get to TMZ for 7 fucking months, and y'all just got my OnlyFans plug. I'm gonna make so much money today from this. Thank you. Mwah! Imagine their strategy of trying to.
This is how you flip it on his head, because at the end of the day, she's embracing it. She's embracing it. Y'all can say, y'all can try to sue her, y'all can do that, y'all can do this. Yeah. SO to the bedroom lawyer. Looking for some crucial updates coming from you soon, miss. We here, we live, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you, miss. But the last update that I do want to give y'all, we can get back to Secret Server Sam, because this was mentioned earlier, but he kind of breaks it down into depth a little bit more, and this is going to be our last Nolan Wells video of the day, and then I will come back with some Shador Sanders.
I'm here, and this is a Nolan Xavier Wells update. Attorney Ben Crump is on it. He has let us know that they have the audio from the CETO call and that they have audio experts, okay? We thank Janetta, Brantley, and all of the audio experts who have done their work now, but now we have forensic audio specialists who will be taking a look at this audio. And thanks to all of our work, it is now being looked at. They also have an oceanic expert who will let them know, how is it possible that Nolan ended up in the same place where they pretty much say they left him. They're saying with the waves, the tides, that this is most likely not possible. And here's a little message to all the haters. We're not going anywhere until we get justice for all these injustices that are happening right now in our country and that will continue to. You cannot silence us because there's way too many of us. There's more of us than there is of you, and get used to it, because we're coming after you. And we're going to keep that gas pedal down, and we're going to keep the foot on your neck so you know how it feels. We will get justice for all of these men who have been wrongly killed.
And that includes Nolan Wells, Daniel Irvin, and also Tyler Smith. We showed their families in the press conferences from earlier involving these families. And at the end of the day, I'm going to leave y'all with this. With all this hoopla that's going on, with they said this, the facts don't show this, the facts show this, slander being put over here, misinformation over there. At the end of the day, we will get to a resolution. Y'all say the justice system, right? Well, we're trying to use the justice system. And hopefully with us using this justice system, hopefully it prevails. But with a lot of the misinformation out there, I mean, we can care less about it. We can care less about it. Because all we want is one simple thing. Is justice for Nolan Wells and what happened to him. That's it. Justice for Daniel Irvin and what happened to him. That's it. And justice also for Tyler Smith and what happened to him. Today, we looked at the press conference. I showed y'all, them fighting for the truth for all these families. I'm going to show y'all this picture right here of all the families of the boys, actually, who the press conference was talking about. Here, let me put this on screen. I ain't going to play the audio for this video, but Daniel Irvin, Nolan Wells, and Tyler Smith all died within a 3-month span, and all of their cases were either determined a suicide, accidental, or it was brushed under the rug in like 2 days, and they said, oh, here you go. Nah, ain't no, oh, here you go. we're going to get to the bottom of what happened to these fellas and these boys. Point blank, period. That's all that matters. So, yeah, it's 2 justice systems, but I don't care. We're going to get to the root of this problem. There's going to be 1 justice system when we don't.
Focus on getting to the truth, and we stand for the truth. Me and everybody on my legal team stand for the truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or who it acquits.
Period. Because if you want to stand for justice, it doesn't matter who it exonerates. It doesn't matter who it finds guilty. It doesn't matter. What matters is the truth. And the truth will eventually come out. And I pray, Nolan Wells, your family gets justice. You get justice. I pray that at the end of the day, all this eventually gets resolved. Because what's going down right now and what's going on with a lot of these cases and a lot of this stuff, it's not right, man. But we're going to continue to put a spotlight on it. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. All right, but actually, hold on. Should I show this real quick? We kind of already hit on this, though. Here, I'll show a little bit of it.
Tonight, in the last 24 hours, Nolan Wells' family hits social media giants, subpoenaing Nolan's.
Yeah, the records and all that. Okay, we already hit on that. All right, so that's all today, folks. And all we're seeking is justice for Nolan Wells. Whether it proves somebody guilty or whether it proves somebody innocent. That's it. That's all. So I just want to say God bless y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed this little update today. It wasn't too much to be updated with Nolan Wells, but yeah, it's an amazing thing that hopefully one day we will get justice for Nolan Wells, because it's an amazing thing that the spotlight is now on Mississippi. It's an amazing thing that now Benjamin Crump is on the case, and it's an amazing thing now that this story won't be just getting brushed under the rug as another story or another injustice done. Because I pray that the Nolan Wells families get justice. And, well, that's all, folks. I'll see you soon. But remember, justice for Nolan Wells, justice for Daniel Irvin, and justice also for Tyler Smith. And I pray for those families. And you should too.
Hey, we live now, really.